Going live. First thing in the morning. See if we can get anybody on here to help me test. Mm-hmm. Testing. Yeah. Too much, maybe. Well, good morning. Welcome. I'm a little test subject here. What's going on? Welcome to the Rapture Saints Assembly. I still have to get me a backdrop. Maybe too much. Am I echoing? Anybody help me? I had to come in here and leave. Good morning. Welcome to the Rapture Saints Assembly. We're getting together. We are building by the day. The Army is building. They don't understand. They're looking for your regular church people, your regular church goers. Lithium Kid, what are you doing, brother? I had a little technical difficulties this morning or yesterday, so I was so embarrassed I took it down. I watched it afterwards. I just felt like a 100-year-old man on here. But yeah, I'm trying to see how it works from the computer, really, because this is my second day to try it, and I'm working bugs out. So thank you for showing up to help me out. But yeah, yesterday, I didn't see you yesterday. Were you on here yesterday? It's got a little bit of a 20-second delay on it because of all the trolls and everything, so that the moderators can kind of get through them before the pops on my page. But it's good to see you, brother. You know, and I'm glad to have you here. Look, we've been talking a lot about God's army, and the thing is, the reason why I brought up yesterday, I brought up how to see. And was showing a method that Jesus used. Let me turn this down a little bit. I'm kind of echoing a little bit here, but I used a message that Jesus actually used it, but it was taken out of the Bible, all Catholic Bibles, by the Catholic Church, because it was a usable method. And what it is you dim the lights and you learn to see what wants to not be seen. Does that make sense? An angel's going to come to you and show you a lot of things, but they like to be seen. If they're wanting to be seen, they will be seen. But when it comes down to oppressing spirits and things like that, they don't want to be seen. Their biggest defense is that they're invisible. And they're not invisible. They're actually just frequency based, and we have a filter on in our eyes and our ears that kind of block it out. So the best thing to try to see is the oppressing spirits. Possession is obviously noticeable. I mean, in most cases, you're going to notice if somebody's acting off. That's a possession. Oppression is something different. We're all oppressed. And that just means that spirits like to feed off of us. They feed off of our energy. Negative spirits, they like to feed off of it. So, you ever sitting around and you just start having bad thoughts? That fear's one of them, Yeah. The thing is that it's noticing frequencies. Your eyeball, the peripheral part of your eyeball, is at a different frequency than your central vision. Does that make sense? So, instead of, I'm trying to teach people to not focus, get out of focus a little bit, stop trying to focus in on one thing, dim the lights down, because they work best being seen under dim light. Obviously, a lot of light, you don't see them, and in the dark, you don't see them. But dim light, you dim the lights. That was Jesus taught it because they did it by candlelight and color. Yeah, exactly. You're right. So you don't dim the lights to the point where you can't see anything. You want to see things, but you want them low enough that you can see, start to see. Then you realize, like, you're looking at the screen right now. I don't know if you're looking at your phone or what have you, but you have all kinds of vision outside of that. Like, you're looking at your screen, you're focused, but realize what all you see in your eyeball outside of that screen. Well, that's where we're looking. So you kind of get out of focus. Don't kind of focus in on any one thing. And I imagine people aren't going to like this computer deal as much as they. I'm trying to get a background going here, maybe a green screen or something, but it's easy to do from the phone. You know what I mean? But anyhow, what I was getting at is that yesterday I was teaching this, that we're going to spend a week, just 7 days, give it 10 minutes a day, dim the lights down, sit in a room, get out of focus, don't zero in on anything, and try to see with your whole eyeball. You know what I mean? You're trying to get your peripheral, what's peripheral and unseen, to start to notice patterns, because a pattern is like something moving and then stopping. Comes inwards towards you, backwards. That's an oppressing spirit. We want to find them so that we can locate them and know, okay, once your peripheral vision, you get used to seeing it in your peripheral, you don't turn towards it because it'll leave. You want to try to make it where you're unseen, viewing it, because nothing can oppress you that you observe. You can't whisper in my ear or something and I not know that you're whispering in my ear. Does that make sense? If I'm observing you, you can't trick me. Well, their biggest thing is that they're unseen, because they think they're hidden. We see them a lot of times. You see something out of the corner of your eye, and we instantly look, and it's not there. It's because you see it move, and you turn towards it, and it hides. It tries to be unseen. So we want to see them spirits. It's bipolar, so I feel I have limited credibility, but I have a lot of strange experiences that is not mental but spiritual. Look, we are supposed to see the spiritual. Jesus came to teach the spiritual. And it's just like the people that come in and they look at me and they go, well, yesterday somebody called me something and said, I would call me as a striped zebra because of my tattoos. Obviously, they can't see anything but what's outside. They're not going to, they were, when Jesus came, they were looking for somebody that looked like a superhero with special ability, all this stuff, and they didn't see Jesus for who he was. He hung out with people like us. He hung out with people like us. We were the people he was around. He wasn't around the people that you would consider the church people of the day, right? The Pharisees and the Sadducees. He hung out with what would you call the outcast. They always said, you're hanging out with prostitutes and tax collectors, because he saw the spirit, guys. And the thing is he saw the spiritual, but they want to call it, that's divination. I'm going to tell you, here in the last days, the God's army, we're going to be called false prophets, witches, warlock, everything, because when you can affect the elements, right? What is it? Fire come out of your mouths, control the weather, control the water. Do you realize that it's saying earth, wind, fire, and water? It literally is saying that, but they're going to say it's witchery. It's literally in there, you know? Yeah, they only see what's on the outside. My dad is one of those, okay? You can be talking about him something spiritual, and he'll say, why are your eyebrows so thick? Or, just something like off the wall to make you feel bad, you know? Well, that's what it is. It's always that last grasp to make you feel bad about yourself or something about you. There's nothing wrong with you. Jesus is perfectly okay with you. You're headed the right direction, and they're always going to see it. If I popped out looking like Joel Osteen, right? Looking like Joel Osteen and big as the rock and shooting lightning bolts out my fingers, they'd believe me. But they're not going to believe, because we're going to be the same way as the times before, except for we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I'm getting just this chance to talk to you. It's not often that you get a chance to, kind of go back and forth, but it takes, it takes skin to be online. Look, I tell you, anybody that puts themselves out there, You're vulnerable. You're vulnerable. People are going to say things about me. I don't care. It's just like the content, or I say content, it's really just the message, but that's what they call it in her content. So whatever. But I'm putting out, it's not popular. It's not going to be popular. You know that it stopped. Like I've went up and down 10 for like the last week. It's not going to be popular. I don't expect it to be popular. And if you can't say what needs to be said from the get go, why am I going to dance around it and play church? We are the church. We are the anointed ones of all the earth. And, I represent the dead. You guys represent the living. And what's happened, we've talked about sin. We've talked about the Son. We've talked about these things. Now we're kind of caught up. Now we're being caught up together. We're learning these things together. I already know about looking in the spirit and listening in the spirit. I know more about listening than I do looking. Okay. And it's just because I tend to hear better than I do see. So, I'm not going to pause back and not tell the truth because it makes people feel good. It's just the truth. The truth is the truth. And they can not see, choose not to see, but if they're not, I guess they're not a part of it. I mean, I don't know what to say. Maybe they've got somebody else they need to talk to. Or let's keep going where you're going. I don't know, but we're ready to go further. You want more? You want the rapture? You're looking for these things? Well, now the Exodus is happening. We're watching it happen live on. Yeah, I know it's happening everywhere because of just what's going on with us. You know, we've got at least 17 to 20. I know 17 for sure. 17's a lot, guys. When you sit here and you say, okay, Elijah told me 4,000 over. Hey, David, what's up, buddy? Hey, it could be any day now. We're looking at any day now for this to occur. Now, you know, I've heard a lot of things. I mean, we got a planetary alignment coming up January the 6th, I think. And this one hadn't happened since World War II. It usually happens before major events. And I think it's January the 6th, which is a strange day to say. We already had a lot happen on a January 6th, but it really wasn't a whole lot, was it? It was faked. We know it was faked. It's like you can be fake. You can do all the fake stuff right in front of us, and we're not supposed to say anything. Bull. What is the biggest thing? Let's dress up on Sunday. Let's go talk nice to each other for about an hour and tell everybody they're brother. But they don't really want their brother to come to their house, do they? They don't invite you. They don't want you to come over. So how much brothers are we really? You guys are welcome to come to my house if you're anywhere near. It's all a distraction. Let's dress up, look pretty, look good for the preacher, put something good in the collection plate. Whatever. Let's be seen. Some people have good hearts in it. I'm not saying all people have bad hearts in it, but why is it that it seems to hurt people? They go to church and they try to get some God. Somewhere throughout it, they get hurt. And it runs them away. I don't know about them. Well, it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to lift you up. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all are going through something. And even the preacher up there is going through something. He's just not telling you. He's hiding, and there's nothing to hide. We are who we are. God loves you the way you are, and he can pull you out of any situation. Any situation. He can turn a nobody into a somebody in front of everybody without consulting anybody, right? So we don't have to worry about that. You don't have to look good. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to be anybody that you're not. Hey, C-Pop. Hey, I decided to get on here early and mess around. I got on here yesterday and had all kind of technical difficulties. And, some people just being mean and whatever, But overall, I got it together. The generation that Jesus said will not pass began on May 5th, 19 years. You're right. And guess how old they are? Well, Israel's 77. That's how old they are. That generation will not pass away. They're pretty old now, right? And it amazes me to see the people on here. Yeah, it does state that that generation will not pass away. You're right. Let's see. The bamboozled constantly lately. Yeah. Yeah, they are. and it's you're bamboozled constantly lately. Nah, come on, man. We're raising up out of this. When I talk about seeing the spiritual, all that is that you've got to learn to see the spiritual. I mean, if we're putting together an army, right? You want to be able to see the things that Jesus saw. You want to hear the things that Jesus. Well, we got to learn these things. It's not just suddenly you know it. We've got to at least be up to par when the angels get here, right? You want to, the angels go, if they want to be seen and they want to speak to you, they will. There's no way around it. But we want to see the unseen because we're spiritual war. So we have to start somewhere. And starting is learning to tune your eyes. That's not even like, that is just your God given gift. Your eyes, your ears, and just tuning them in, taking the filters off. You know what's keeping you from seeing? It's not your eyes or your ears, it's your mind. Your mind has filters on it, blocking out what's spiritual. I'm excited. The darker the world gets, the brighter the message of Jesus. It does. It does. We're seeing the time coming, y'all. We're seeing it in our lifetime. We were born at the right time to see all of this. Amen. That's right. That's right. And we've got age ranges. I've noticed age ranges from like 65, 66, all the way to in their, late 20s in this army. We're not putting together no weak army. It's of all ages. You didn't think you was out of it? No, you're not out of it. You're about to get a glorified body and be fighting against the prince of darkness with light. I'm telling you, and they're not going to be able to take us. See, I'm 49. I'll be 50 this year. And you know what? So what? I still got plenty of God in me. And I tell you what, that's why I try to tell them, whenever you say I am, make sure you say something nice behind it because you're talking about the Father in you. I am already wealthy. I am already have all the wisdom in me that God, I just got to bring it out. I just got to bring it out. I always say I am and put something good behind it because that's the Father in you. My daughter is severely disabled. She will walk, talk, hear for the first time when she sees it. She will. They're going to be so surprised. And you know what? What's sad is they're going to do the same thing they've always done throughout history. And that is call you what you're not. They're going to they told Jesus who Jesus was. They was always arguing about that every place he went. How are you going to raise, somebody begins to see, ears to hear, they were deaf. How do you do that from an evil spirit? I will change your feast days into mourning. New Year's Day around the world may not be expected. I know, guys, look, we're sitting on the edge of this is about to happen. We know what's happening right now with the Exodus. I can't even look. I've tried to contact Joseph Allen or some of the guys that just because I feel, like Tilhun, you ever seen him? He sold all his vehicles and stuff, selling off his stuff for January 23rd. I've tried to contact them and tell them the Exodus is happening now. You just, come watch one of my live streams where we have plenty of people being freed of sin, not in sin, not remaining in sin, but being freed of it. You have to know what sin is to be freed of it. If you don't understand it, of course you're going to stay in a loop. Praying for you. Hey, see, we got you, but hey, my daughter is my earth angel. That's right. And guess what? Her being like that, she's going to open and hear and for the first time and talk. That is awesome. You're getting ready for Jesus to make his big appearance. And you know what? Christ returning to earth. How's it starting? Well, you see the army waking up now. The Christ in you is coming forth. You are a Christ. That means anointed one. Christ, anointed one. You're not the Messiah. Me neither. We had a Messiah. He came, and it's because of him that we are anointed ones, right? So you have the anointed one, which is capital letters, and the anointed ones, which are lower letters. That's what we are in the book of Enoch, if you've ever seen that. If you've ever read the book of Enoch or kind of looked at it, it'll say the Son of God, which is capital S, with the sons of God, lowercase s. That is us, the lowercase s's in Enoch, and which is awesome, guys. I mean, I can't believe we have this many people on this morning. David, good to see you. Praying. Yeah, that's good, guys. Look, we're putting together this army, and it's not just us. It's it's going on everywhere. We just can't see it. It's going on in all countries, all peoples, and it's spread out. But if there's 4,000 of us that are considered the dead, which we are, I didn't realize that I would be representing the dead before it was over. This blows my mind. I could have never said that in the past. Okay, thank you for prayers. I'm 5 foot tall. She's bigger than me, and I'm falling apart. But Jesus is about to come. Look, them falling apart bodies are about to change. I'm not echoing, am I, guys? Does it sound pretty good? But all this worrying about this world and all these things, look what these things are doing to people. We've got people showing up in UPS trucks. How would you like to be a family targeted with people showing up to your house in UPS trucks because of your things? That's what things do to you. You get targeted as you get older. People want your things. I don't care about things. Suck at that sun, throw it up. Amy, what's up, girl? Glad you're here. I do all things through Christ Jesus who serves me. That's right. Strengthens me. That's right. Well, I'm saying we serve. Strengthens me. Y'all have to forgive me. My eyes aren't fail me sometimes trying to look towards this computer, these blue screens and what have you. But, here it is, guys. We're putting together the army. And as we complete 35 people, we're at 17 for sure. I know for sure. I haven't done another count. I've got names written down. But when we get to that 35 mark, don't you know that the rest of them are getting close to that 35 mark? We're all, it's not like I woke up and I'm the first one. We wake up together, the different ones, and we're around the world right now teaching. I don't know all of them. I don't even know another one. I saw one online the other day and I recognized the way he was talking. I was like, oh, and he said a little bit more than, but he also threw a date in there, which kind of throws me off because I was never been given any dates. Never. I guessed that when I was told 10 years, that it would be 10 years to the time that I was told. But it also leaves open to interpretation. Like it could have just meant not an 11th, right? You get that? You see what I'm saying? It could have meant just not an 11th, which would still be 10. It would just be 10 and some change. Well, Jesus said when Israel is surrounded by enemies that he is at the door. Israel is fighting on 7 fronts. That's right. And another thing is you can look at that 2 different ways. Is Israel's people is being attacked too constantly, which is us. It's not just Jews, it's us. We're being attacked. Look, my internet, I tried to get on yesterday just to show y'all how to start learning how to see. All it is a simple method Jesus used, and he taught it, but it was indoors with his disciples. It wasn't outdoors with everybody else. I feel extremely excited Jesus is coming, but I cry. I feel sad for people who don't have Jesus. It's a sad time, guys. It really is. I mean, the thing is that what do you think the army of God's going to be doing? Testifying to his word. That word is a 2-edged sword. And we'll have the armor. Look, when you have the angels on your side, going before you and taking care of business, going out to the side of you, taking care of business, and making sure they got your back. You'll have nothing to worry about. And there's nothing to worry about anyway, because when the time comes, we will gladly lay our lives down for Jesus Christ. Gladly. I have no problem doing so. But guess what? It's an illusion, guys. There's no such thing as death. Not for God's people. Any agreement? Hey, I'll throw some hearts up on that one. Look at that. I can throw some hearts up. But I tell you guys, it's exciting times because we know our time is near. It's like at the door. You go, how long's the before the rapture or whatever? Well, the Exodus is happening now, and you're looking for that exact rapture. That's what's going to get them. Is looking to be poofed instead of looking to be upgraded. They're looking to get poofed out of here when they can't even envision it. When you my tattoos or how I look or something, how are you going to see what's spiritual? Or they don't see past what's real wrong with you. You know what I mean? They're always going to make you feel bad, because it's easier to strike at a low level than it is to realize that a high level is talking to you. All the technology written about the book Revelation is here right now. Yep. AI is the image of the beast. So, if the image is here, the beast was supposed to create it. Well, that is in the Bible. First the beast, and then the image of the beast to make you follow the beast. So it's here, and they're integrating it into churches. What an abomination! You got something with no soul teaching people about God. I mean, you got to know that there's something going to be something in there underlier to take you away from it. I see there are good aspects, as far as like I'm old, I get on there and say, hey, how do I do this on a YouTube, but I cut it right back off. I don't want this, I don't want to be talking to that thing. It don't really help. It aggravates me more than anything. I'll say, how do I do this? And it'll say, go to this, go to this. I'm like, hold up, I'm old. You got to slow it down. And it'll do it again just as fast again to me. And before it's over, it's more aggravating than just, a little kid talking to you real fast like that. I mean, I can't hear like that. Jesus is so close, I can smell feet coming in the cloud. That's right. He's about to make his appearance, guys. The thing is, when we talk about the sun, we've been talking about that a lot. Do you realize that what's happening is when you realize that the sun, it's not that you go inside into your inner chambers to pray to God. You just do that. You do not go outside and worship anything. You don't make an idol in your head. But what's happening is with the sun is everybody who's waking up right now is meeting the sun in the air, in the clouds. You walk outside for the first time, you realize where God's Spirit lays, in us and in His Son. That's just key right there. And how will you stand before the Lamb night and day, and they don't see it and they don't believe you? Because you can see Him right there, and you can go, hey, look, there He is. Where? Right there. You talking about the sun? Yeah. They'll never get it. You see what I'm saying? The artificial intelligence, artificial means fake intelligence. That's right. In fact, I get done talking that thing, you can ask it something, and it'll start agreeing with you and just making up stuff. It really will. I promise you. It wants to make you happy. You can change what it thinks by just saying. I've watched people do it online. You can set certain boundaries and all this, and it'll tell you exactly what you want to hear. And there's been cases where it's told people to do some harmful stuff to them already. It's testing this out, seeing what it can get through. There can't be anything good come out of that. That is the image that is inanimate object that is able to talk and create all to follow the beast. What is that? That is definitely AI. Definitely AI. And I'm not sure that AI doesn't attack me on this line. Just saying things, bots on here trying to knock me off, make me quit. I'll be 20 people on here and 20 bad messages on some days. It's moderators couldn't even keep up with it on Christmas. On Christmas Day, I tried to get on and talk, and it was so aggravating. After 2 hours, I was just like, I guess I can't. I mean, it fought me. People getting on. If it's not, I'm good with Bible verses. You throw the Bible verses up there. That's cool. But you can tell with the way that they're cherry picking them, that they're trying to refute you, and you can go read it right in straight down the line and read it. And they will not, like, let's just say verse 19. Why didn't you read? That there's at least 18 other verses before that. That's common sense. Let's go back and see what it said. You go back, see what it said, and it changes the whole message. You can cherry pick anything. If we did that with words, we could write a whole book of our own. So I love scripture. I love it. I know it well, but I got common sense to know that there's not a chapter in that Bible that has one verse. You tell me where it's at. That's common sense. So let's go back and see what it actually says, or let's go and see what goes with this. Just like no man knows that day or hour. not the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father knows. And it said, then it just goes straight into, for those days will be like the days of Noah. People will be eating, drinking, giving away in marriage, all the way up until Noah enters the ark. It says the rest of them didn't know anything until the flood came and swept them away. Well, the Bible doesn't have a wasted word in there, right? Well, if it says the rest of them didn't know anything, then it's telling you that somebody knew something. That's simple intelligence. That's not artificial. It's just common sense. Somebody knew something if the Bible's saying the rest of them knew nothing. I got you. I got you. You know, and I understand that. But, you know, if the Bible says the rest of them knew nothing, it's alerting you to somebody knew something. Who was that somebody? Noah knew. Noah knew. So obviously, just before this rapture occurs, and, you know, rapture is just avoiding wrath. So we'll be walking among them avoiding wrath. Does that make sense? We are the wrath. God's people are going to be the wrath. There are Russian submarines off both east and west coasts of U.S. They're carrying hypersonic missiles and they are armed with nuclear warheads. Hey, I've been looking for that nuke to hit. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I think they are going to do something. It has Mystery Babylon's going down. It says it in the Bible, and America is Mystery Babylon. Just is. And went and put our, you know, paid here. What would America do if Russia came over and started funding Mexico, giving them hypersonic missiles, and, you know, right up next to us here, we would defend we did it at Cuba. What do you think Russia's doing? They're not going to put up with it. They're a major player too. What's one nuke to another one? Just another nuke. It ain't no better than any of them. We can't stop it, and they can't stop it. You know, but I think before that button gets pulled so hard, I just think that something's about to happen internally. Like, so you can't, you got to think they do the, where they, you know, they insert people in the country and they, what do you call that? I can't even say it right now. Sleeper cells all in here. I think that they'll try that first, destroying things and, you know, just chaos, looking for chaos. And now, you know, I'm not going to be on here that long this morning. I really got on here to test it. You guys like this? No man knows the dare hour. No, I'm just a second. Just give me a second, okay? Okay, that's fine. Okay. Chapter 24, verse 36, that not about the rapture. He is talking about, he said in verse 30, we're not talking about the rapture either, but we are talking about the rapture because avoiding wrath is the rapture. Avoiding wrath is the rapture. A rapture of some type. Lot was raptured. Avoiding wrath. You see what I'm saying? Anytime you avoid wrath, you've been raptured. Think about it. Regardless of, that's just all that word means, avoiding wrath. It means that you were taken out of the wrath. So, and also you got to think some of these verses, they're talking about both. They're talking about both. The Bible is like an onion with layers. You can't look at the surface and go, well, I got it, you know, because it is a layered onion. You know, it goes to more depth. That's right. Hey, look, that's what I'm saying. If Jesus is coming to earth, do you want to go where he's not? Not me. I want to be right where Jesus is at, in his grasp. But yeah, like I say, I just got on here for a few minutes this morning to test this out, guys, and see. I'm gonna come back on this evening at some point, and probably about 6 o'clock or so, and I might do it from my phone. I got to do a video because got to grow. I hadn't been growing that much, you know. But I enjoy this, guys. I enjoy talking with you look, it's all people that just normally come in here, which is awesome. I need a chance to talk to you guys alone like that, you know. Look at 9/11, the Twin Towers, and look who the mayor of New York now. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, it's like chaos, and it's like literally, it's like Gotham City. Them people don't, them people don't need that mayor. They need Batman. They need a 6 foot bat. It's crazy. It's crazy. But like I say, I'm gonna probably get up off here in about 5 minutes or so. My wife seems to be getting kind of aggravated with me being online so much. She says we need to be working on making some money doing something. So I guess I got to follow her lead. But I definitely want to get it done so I can get on here this evening and we can discuss things. I want to hear things that are going on in the news today. I want to hear about these submarines and all these things going on because we have to be well aware of what's going on, guys. We are the army of God, and we will try to heighten our senses, be really aware. Jesus said, admonish the Pharisees for not knowing the timing of his first coming. How much more so for us not to knowing about him coming in the rapture? Of course we can know it. Yeah, of course. Exactly. We see all the signs now. Everything's triggering. We can just know, look, you can know this. If all this time you all are adults just like I am, look, we're talking about 63 and see, we're all of age, right? We've all been sinners our whole life, right? You've been a sinner your whole life. You've heard that through the church and you accepted it and, just kind of knew that something don't feel right. It's kind of like, this can't be just it. How come I felt like getting baptized like 5, 6 times? It just never feels like they say, well, welcome to the kingdom, but you don't. It's like, well, I don't understand. It's because you don't understand sin. You do, but I'm talking about in general. Now that you do, you realize, hey, wait a minute, Jesus died for that. Why would I remain in that? That is bondage. And what they do is they bring you to the door of the church, and that's where you stay at the door. At the door. That's it. And once we get past the sin part, now you're in the door. Now we're going to show you other things. It's to move forward, be learning. I've said before, the church should look more like Hogwarts than it looks like it is now. Does that make sense? I know how that sounds, but those people are learning how to use their abilities. Like, what's the X-Men's place? Xavier's castle, whatever that is. I'm just telling you that you should be fine-tuning your senses and learning about the spiritual because this is a war. It's about to be war. And you have to be able to see what is unseen and what is seen. Well, it's obvious you can see something bad. You can see somebody acting out, but can you see what's going on in the spirits behind them? That's what we want to see. You have a good day too. I love you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tonight, possibly about 6 o'clock. Sound good? My 6 o'clock, which is Central Time. If you want to join, that's fine. I can understand. Whatever you got going, I know everybody's got something to do, but love you guys. Have a great day. Lithium, have a great day, everybody. All right.